I hope everyone's able to see my screen. Can you either confirm you are able to see my screen or
Yes, we can see your screen.
by unmuting yourself or typing yes?
You can able to see your screen.
Okay. Are you guys not able to hear me? Am I audible as well? Are you guys able to hear me? Okay. So let's get started. So during our day one, that was yesterday, we just went through a overview of this training program, what this training program is, what topics will be covered in the training program, what tools we are going to discuss, what can you expect out of the training program, timelines, and those type of stuff. So that was we kept the day one agenda simple just so that you guys can absorb what to expect out of this training. Now we are on day two, and like we discussed yesterday, uh, today we are going to discuss three broader topics. Okay, and then as the day progresses, we will deep dive into each of these topics. So today's first topic is, who is a business analyst? What is your understanding of business analyst? What a BA is supposed to do on a day-to-day basis. So suppose you start your journey as a business analyst, then what are you supposed to do on a day-to-day basis? Now, in order to do your work on a day-to-day basis, what are the skills that you require? Okay, so not very complicated, but let's get started with these three topics today, and then tomorrow we'll do a background check. So we'll start with a background of how the role of a BA was created in IT in first place and how that role has evolved over years. Okay, so what business analysts used to do versus what they are doing now. And since our focus is predominantly with respect to IT industry, so we will discuss what a BA is expected to do within an IT industry. Okay, so let's get started with today's topic. The first topic is, who is a business analyst? Okay. Now, since you guys have, joining in for these sessions, so I'm sure you guys have done some type of research or someone would have suggested you. So you may have a basic understanding or some understanding of what a business analyst does or who is a business analyst. So can you type in your responses or unmute yourself and say what is your understanding? What have you found so far about business analysts? Anyone? You want to try? I mean, there's nothing right. And remember, guys, when you start your journey as business analyst, there's nothing called right or wrong. That you are wrong, I am right, or I am wrong, you are right. It's always the background in which you are speaking. Okay, so if no responses, then let me get started. So usually you will hear a very common term that a business analyst is the liaison between the IT team and the customer. Okay. Now, who what is that liaison? So that is basically a bridge. Hmm? So your customer uh, will have some type of idea in their mind. Suppose I have a business idea in my mind. Okay, the customer is someone who has a business idea. Let's say I have a business idea that I want to open a grocery shop at the corner of my uh, locality or building complex or apartment, whatever you say. Okay. So I have some idea, some business idea that I want to do business wherein I'll open a grocery shop and I'll start selling required or necessary or daily usage items over there. Now, I may be equipped with a good business thought process, but it doesn't mean that I have a good technical knowledge as well. Now, what I'll do is I have seen that over last 8 to 10 years, the usage of mobile has increased tremendously. People are now doing almost everything on their mobile, right from shopping of their groceries, vegetables, fruits, to booking tickets like bus tickets, flight tickets, train tickets. Almost everything is being done through mobile and including the payments as well. So now I may start a business, but I may think that, what if I create an app for my grocery store, something like Big Basket or, other similar grocery apps, where people just by staying at their home, they can see what items are available in my grocery shop and then they can decide what items they want. They can even make online payment or they can simply do a cash on delivery or they can simply keep the items in the cart and come to me and then collect it. So now the customer got the idea of opening a grocery shop and now they want to digitalize it. They want to create an application for it. To create an application, that's where they will involve the IT companies that I have an idea and I want to create an application for it. Now, when you contact or go on a conversation with IT organizations, that's where the IT organizations will give you a BA, a business analyst. Okay, a business analyst will talk to the customer, will try to understand what kind of grocery shop it is, how many branches do you have, what is the location, what all types of items, prices, so that they can take your requirement and whether you want online payment or not, what is the maximum limit of numbers that a particular person can order from your shop, what is the delivery radius, do you want delivery tracking also. So all those type of things business analysts will try to talk to customer, get the information and then pass on that information uh, to the IT team. So the IT team will now, or IT team or the development team, so that the development team can then start writing code for it. Okay, the technical work. So they will start creating software for it. Okay, so basically in a nutshell, customer has the idea. For that idea, they reach out to IT organizations to create a software. You can call it a software or an application. You can call it, I mean, both these words are used interchangeably. You can call it either. Now, when they reach out to IT organizations, obviously the first thing that they do is they sign an agreement that this is what we are going to do. Now, based on once that agreement is signed, then a BA is assigned. Okay. Actually, we will go in detail about how the project starts at the later part of this course. So that time we will go in complete detail. How does customer approach organizations? How the agreement is signed, how the team structure looks like. But for since we are at the very beginning or the early stages of the course, so assume that you get a BA directly. Okay. So now the BA, like you said, is a liaison or bridge between the IT team and the customer. Why? Because a BA interacts with the customer, try to understand what the customer wants, how they want their product to look like, what all features they want in their product, like uh, search for a given item from the catalog, add items to the cart, make online payments, delivery tracking, filter the results, sort the results based on availability, sort results based on pricing. So what all features they want, they try to get all that information from the customer and then communicate that back to the IT team. Okay. So that is the first part that a business analyst tries to accomplish. Now, a lot of this discussion, whatever happens, a business analyst not just will go and talk to the customer, but they are also responsible for creating artifacts. Okay. So instead of calling something as a regular document in IT industry, we call things as artifacts. Okay. Our session 4 or day 4 agenda will be on going through the common terms that are used in the IT industry and what do each term mean. Okay. But for now, understand that they are responsible for creating artifacts or for simplicity documents. What kind of documents, like a business requirement document, like what all requirements are needed, business requirement document. Okay. Software specification document, like what softwares are we going to use, and not just what software or what tools we are going to use, but how are we going to use that tool. Okay. Suppose the customer says, I want a search bar at the top. Okay. Let's say I want a search bar at the top, but just having a search bar at the top doesn't give us complete picture. Okay. Just to give you an example, guys, uh, we all pretty much open Amazon every day. Okay. Or Flipkart or any other e-commerce website. So they all have this search bar. But just by saying that I want my customers to search for items doesn't mean that's a complete requirement. So your software specification also talks about how your search bar will look like, where your search bar will be located, at the top, bottom, left, right. When you click on search bar, what all items can you search? For example, should it give any drop down list items to select, or should it just allow users to enter search? Whether there should be any category option to select from, and then when you click on search button, how the result should be displayed. Okay. Whether the result should be displayed vertically or horizontally, like in this case horizontally. So those type of things. So a customer can give you a very high level requirement, but a high level requirement cannot always be translated into a working software. In order to create a working software, you need more details, and that is where you as a business analyst will take in those requirements and create certain documents like business requirement document or functional requirement document, or your software specifications to tell how my software is going to look like and how it is going to behave, but not in terms of coding, technical terms. Okay. Not in technical terms, sorry, in business terms, that there should be a search bar, should be able to search items, click on search button, result should be displayed. If there is no result, send a message like no items found. Okay. So that is your second responsibility or second task that a business analyst will do. In addition to acting as a bridge, they will also be responsible for creating these artifacts or documents as well. Now I'll take a pause here. You guys have any questions? Okay, are you guys following along? Have any difficulty? Want me to give a different example?
No, sir, it's fine. Sir, it was fine. Am I audible, sir?
Sorry, Neha, were you trying to say something?
Yeah, I was saying like it's quite simple till now, so I think we are able to understand.
Okay, okay, good.
Thank
So, in addition to this, now what a business analyst will also do, okay? So, you will have plenty of meetings, okay? Since you are in a customer facing role where you will be interacting with the customer, trying to know what they want, how they want their software to look like. Plus, you will also be giving them ideas or suggestions how their competitors are behaving, what kind of other features are available in market by the customers. So basically, in order to have those discussions, you will have plenty of meetings going back and forth with the customer and with your IT team, with your development team as well, with the customer and development team as well. Okay, because your development team may also have certain questions like what is this requirement, how the search bar should look like, should we create a bigger search bar or a smaller one, should we have it at bottom or at the top. So you will have plenty of meetings. Now one more thing that you need to add on top of that is because you will be attending meetings and it's we are all human beings, okay? So we may tend to forget things like what we discussed in a given meeting. So one, if your organization allows, uh, get into ensure that you are recording the meetings, okay? If recording is available, well and good, use that recording, and from the recording, create notes. I'll tell you why. If recording option is not available, then get into the habit of making notes. But if recording is available, I would suggest don't create notes while the meeting is going on because it keeps you distracted. Your more focus is on taking notes rather than listening what is being discussed. So if recording option is available, record the meetings, especially the important ones, not all meetings but important ones, and then once you record the meetings, from that create notes. Okay, create notes out of it. Why and how to create notes is a different topic that also we will cover, but creating notes will help you recollect or remember what was discussed in a given meeting. Number one. Okay, so these notes will help you recollect what was discussed. That was number one. Number two is it will also set action item for people. Okay, now what I meant by that is suppose you asked a question to a customer. Now the customer is not aware of the answer, but the customer said that give me 2 days time, I'll get back to you. Now you need to follow up with customer in 2 days or after 2 days. Okay, So when you make notes, you will also remember this, that I asked a question to the customer and the customer said they will get back to me in 2 days. So now you can send an email or reminder to them that, you need to get back to me within 2 days. I'll send you a reminder on second day. And then on second day, you can follow up with the customer. So people will really appreciate this, that, you guys, you are not only following through items, but you are also able to remember things. Okay. So that is what a business analyst does. A business analyst is a bridge between the IT team and the customer. They are in a customer facing role. Why customer facing role? Because they are the ones who represent the organization to the customer. Okay. Now, all these responsibilities that we discussed over here, sorry, all the functional aspects, they can be considered as your day-to-day item or day-to-day responsibilities as well. Okay. So you can add them in your dis- uh, business analyst definition, but at the same time, you can consider these as your day-to-day responsibilities. Okay. So you will attend meetings. Let me write them in the order. So you will attend meetings with the customer. You will be responsible for creating the artifacts. And remember, we said a business analyst is a customer facing role. So what a business analyst also needs to do is, and remember guys, you are not there to manage anyone, assign any work to anyone. We have project managers, okay, who will take care of work assignment, who will do what, whether they are doing their work correctly or not. But you need to be aware of the progress. Okay. Suppose you go into the meeting and customer asks you, how is the software created? Is it ready? What's the progress? Okay, because the customer doesn't know. They can ask the project manager to get the updates, or they can ask business analyst also, because a business analyst is meeting with the customer on almost daily basis, or if not daily, at least once in 2 to 3 days. So it will be better if you are aware of the progress with respect to work. Okay, with respect to work assigned. Okay. Suppose if you are writing down the requirements, then you already know what is the progress. But suppose if you have completed creating the requirement document and now you shared that with your development team. So how much software has been created, whether it is 10%, 20%, if software is created, whether it has been tested or not. If it has been tested, then what's the next step? So like that, you just need to be aware of the progress with respect to the work assigned. Okay, because it doesn't look good when you go to customer and say that I don't know what's the progress. Why don't you go and check with the manager? Manager is responsible for getting the work done. So it doesn't give a good impact to the customer, that despite these people being one team, the BA is not even aware of the progress. Okay. Now remember, a BA on their uh, day-to-day work, they will be provided with conflicts. So they will resolve conflicts, and I'll give you example of this as well. Suppose customer gave you 10 requirements, or let's start with two, for example, that for this business idea of opening up a shop, opening a grocery shop. Suppose customer initially told you that I want two features. Okay. Feature number one is I want a catalog. Okay. Catalog is nothing but these items that you see on your screen. Okay. So if you go into categories, uh, see if you go into mobile and computers, all mobile phone. See these items that you see on your screens by either brand or by phone, these are all nothing but your catalog. Okay, catalog tells us about the list of items. So suppose the shop owner initially said that I want a catalog, and second is I want a search functionality. Okay, now they stopped over here and now they're coming up and saying that I want a third feature as well, and that third feature will be delivery. Okay, that users can ask me to deliver items to their place. Earlier we were asking them to come to my shop and collect items. Now I want to add third feature as well. While you are creating a software, they came up with a third requirement. So what will happen is, as a BA, you will talk to customer, understand what their requirements are, how they want, but this may lead to a conflict. Why? Because we have agreed that we will create a software with these two features. Now if you go back to your team and say that we want to create a third feature as well, your team will say we need more time. But sometimes what happens is customer will say no, I will not give you more time. You need to add this third feature in the same time frame only, no more extra time. So as a BA, that is where you will then come into picture to resolve conflicts. How? You will talk to your development team that, hey, how much time will you need to add this third feature? Suppose they say 1 week. Then you go back to the customer and try to explain to them that we need at least 1 week of time to implement this new feature. See, as a BA, you are not going to say no to everything. Thing is, there is a different way of saying no. So instead of saying openly, no, no, I will not do the work and get into a fight with customer, instead of that, we try to completely avoid that and we say that we will do the work. It's not that we are not going to do the work, but we will need additional time. We need 1 week of time. I talk to my development team and they are ready to do the work, but they need 1 week of time to code for it. Okay, so that is how you are trying to resolve conflicts. You are not saying no, you are not getting into fight. You are talking to your customer to understand requirements, take requirements of that additional feature, talk to your development team how much time they need, and then based on that you are communicating. Okay, so no more no's, no more fights, but a different way of communication. Okay, you should not be an order taker. Okay, you should, as a business analyst, you should not just take orders from customer and dump it on your development team. No, you are not a manager or you are not an order taker. You have to resolve conflicts. Okay, so that is another thing where you will get into spending most of your time. Then second thing is clarification of doubts. Okay, when you write down requirement documents and when people read your document, they will certainly have some doubts that what is it you have written, what do you mean by search bar, do you want a magnifying glass like this one in search bar, or do you want a text here written search? So people may have different types of questions to you. Now when they have different questions, naturally, because you are the one who has written the document, so you need to clarify those doubts. If you know the answer, well and good, provide the answer. If you don't know the answer, then it is your duty or responsibility to get the answer by talking to customer, your seniors, or whoever you can talk to, whoever you think can provide you the answer. So another area where you will be spending your quite a good amount of time is talking to people in clarifying their doubts. Now these doubts could be from your development team, could also be from your customer as well. Okay. So far, any questions, guys? What will be your day-to-day activity look like? How, where you will be spending time? What type of work you will be doing? Okay, so if no questions, we'll move forward and we'll go on to the third item of the day. Okay, so the third item talks about I need to do this on a daily basis. It's not that a business analyst will only do these five work, but I have listed down five major work where you will have to spend at least 80 to 90% of your time. Remaining amount of time like preparing release notes and all those type of things, that may change with organization to organization. And if you are comfortable with these majority of items, you can easily work on remaining 10 to 15% of your items. That will not take uh, a large or a huge amount of time. Okay, now the third topic for the day is, in order to do these daily responsibilities, what skills do I need? Naturally, the question comes is, what skills do I need? And once you know what skills you need, then only you can work on acquiring those skills, okay? Isn't it? Unless I know what skills I need, I will never know how to acquire those skills. So that is where my third aspect. How do I execute my day-to-day responsibilities? What type of skills do I require? So in a BA role, I created this flow chart. Yes, this particular flow chart uh, that tells you what type of skills you require, okay, and broadly in what category. I just put in some category so that it gets easier, so you can either remember these skills directly, but remember as in you don't have to memorize these, okay, you just have to keep on it. For example, let's discuss uh, let's discuss on them one by one. Creative thinking. What do I mean by creative thinking, on and why creative thinking is necessary for a business analyst? So remember we said that as a business analyst, your job is customer facing. Okay, you are going to help customer. You are going to help your delivery team or development team create a working software for the customer. Okay, now when you are going to do that, it is important to be innovative or creative. You cannot just create a copy Amazon. Let's say Amazon's website look like this. I will create a copy of Amazon for my another e-commerce customer. If you create a copy of Amazon, will anyone be visiting your website? They will simply say that, this is a duplicate of Amazon. So when people realize, or when people give you that comment or feedback, it is duplicate, chances are that they will never visit. So that is why creative thinking, that you don't necessarily have to design the website, but if someone is designing, you should be able to assess whether it's new, fresh, easy to use or not. Okay, learning. Like I said, you will be moving in different domains. You may be working with a grocery shop customer today, you may be working with a banking customer tomorrow, you may be working with a health insurance customer day after tomorrow. Okay, so since you will be changing into different domains, you need to be learning about these industry as well. Okay, not just about industry knowledge. See, we have mentioned over here that you need to acquire these knowledges as and when you work: organization knowledge, solution methodology, industry knowledge. So you can only acquire knowledge when you get into the habit of learning things. Okay, then systems thinking and conceptual thinking. So we'll cover conceptual thinking first. What is conceptual thinking is getting an idea. Say for example, I get an idea that why don't I create a software for this grocery shop. Okay, so let's conceptualize it first. So conceptualize doesn't mean thinking about technical aspect, whether I will use Java or Python or something else, or whether I will use cloud storage or what, that is secondary. First thing is, how do you think the flow should look like? Like I can create an app where customers can customer can register themselves. Okay, so once the customer register themselves, they can then search for items in the cart, search for items in the catalog. Okay, now once they search for item in the catalog, what happens? What's the next step that you guys do? Suppose you search for an item and you found a relevant item displayed in the search result. So what's the next thing you do? I'm not asking from a business analyst perspective, but your regular day-to-day browsing. So you search for something, results appear up, then what's the next thing you do? You naturally click on the search results or whatever relevant search result is, you click on the item to view more details. Now when you view more details, what's the next thing you can do? You can add the item in the cart, that I have viewed the detail, I have seen the price, description of the product, everything looks good to me. So add item to the cart. Okay. Now see this, for this grocery shop, I didn't have to know any technical details. What I needed to know was, and it will take time guys. So I may have added these items because I have worked on projects. So I listed down 4 broader tasks. But as and when you go, you will also, once you keep working on these items, you will develop conceptual thinking. So you need to conceptualize, visualize things, that how the flow will look like, what all steps can be there. And if you can conceptualize it, then only you can technically implement it. Okay, so that is your conceptual thinking. Systems thinking is how these items will integrate with each other. Okay, so I can create multiple independent modules or blocks, but how these items will integrate with each other, how these items are going to talk to each other, what will be the input. So for example, for registration you can say the input will be, usually when we go on websites, what do they ask us? Email ID or phone number, isn't it? They will say give us your phone number, we will send you an OTP. If OTP validation is successful, then you are registered. So next time onwards, you can log in with your email ID and phone number. Okay. Similarly, for search items, what will be the input? Input is a logged in user. User should be logged in. No guest logins are allowed. Now, problem solving and decision making, these two skills are actually help you achieve this part. Conflict, where is conflict? Conflict resolution. Okay. So we said BA should be able to resolve conflicts. You will be able to resolve conflicts only when you are able to solve problems. Okay. Suppose if I come to you with a problem that I want to create a grocery shop app, and if you in turn you give me a problem that no, everyone has an app nowadays, why do you want to create an app? No, I'm not satisfied with your answer of why you want to create an app. That's not the way you solve the problem. There could be hundreds of competitors and hundreds of apps out there. What different can you do in your app? Okay, so when people come to you with problems, you need to provide a solution. If you don't know the solution, talk to the people who you think can solve the problem, but that's the attitude you need to have. Okay, you need to be able to solve problems and make decisions for people. That sometimes you will give them customer an option that we can have this search box at the top, at the left, at the right, or at the bottom. Now when you give these options, customer is not sure what to do, where should we have. And that's where your skills as a regular user, I'm not talking about business analyst, as a regular user, where will you feel more comfortable? when your search bar is at the top or when your search bar is at the bottom. Naturally, when search bar is at the top, people feel more comfortable. They can locate it easily. If it is at the bottom, you will have to keep scrolling down, find for the search bar. So it makes it little bit irritating. So in those cases, you can make decision that let's have search bar at the top. Okay. Now, some of the behavioral aspects on business analyst, very important one, that you should work with a good code of conduct. Okay, people should tell you that people should give your example that this guy is ethically strong. Okay, they don't just do things for the sake of doing, they don't say things for pleasing you, but they have a good sense of ethics and work management skills. Okay, so that's how, if you have good ethics, not a good ethics, by good ethics I mean honest. Okay, like if something can be done, you say done. If something cannot be done, you ask for time. Remember we said when you resolve conflicts, you say no in a different way. So customer will know when, suppose if Neha is giving an opinion, customer will know that if Neha is giving this opinion, that means it's a genuine opinion. She won't just give me any opinion to make more money out of me. So that's where ethics are important. Based on ethics only, your trust will be built. Customer will trust you. If they trust you, they will give you more work naturally. In fact, they will follow your instructions and advices as well. Then last two things, as a BA, you have to be adaptable. Why adaptable? Remember we said you may move into different industries, different type of work. So you must be adaptable to learn as per that industry dynamics. And one of the important things that you guys will realize over time is you should be self-managing. No one should come and tell you that, hey, go and do this work. Hey, you asked for 2 days to writing requirements. Why have it's almost 2 days? Why didn't you write the requirement? Okay, so those type of things. You should be self-managing. 1 minute, guys. So meanwhile, you have any questions with respect to this box, this one that we covered at a very high level? No questions, all good, able to follow. Okay, I think it's good so far then. Then the below skills that are mentioned over here, business knowledge. Now, why these skills are needed? Okay, when you go to a customer, okay, you must know the organization knowledge, that is what organization the customer belongs to, what that organization does. Suppose if you are working for a banking customer, then what that bank does, what are the products it offer, okay, how many customers it have. You should have some knowledge before you engage with customer in any conversation. Similarly, you should also have organization knowledge of the company you are representing. Suppose you join TCS tomorrow, so you must know what is TCS, what TCS does, what are the work ethics for TCS. Okay, how many customers does TCS have? Because what if the customer tells you that I don't think you guys are knowledgeable. Sometimes customers will give you, be arrogant, or they will give you blunt feedback, or they will openly criticize you that I don't think you guys are having enough experience or knowledge to work on my project. I will complain about this. So if you have required knowledge about your organization, you can convince customer or you can give reply to the customer upfront that no, we have been in industry for 30 plus years. We have appropriate skill sets, we have appropriate experience, we have people who are certified, so we have the required knowledge. It's just that we are not able to get onto a same page, and it will take some time. So that's where your organization knowledge helps you kickstart your conversations and ask relevant questions. Second, solution knowledge, methodology knowledge, or industry knowledge. So, industry knowledge, like I said, whatever domain your customer operates in or your company operates in, you must know about your company and the industry in which company operates, how that industry is moving forward. Suppose right now you are in healthcare sector. So, how the healthcare sector is evolving, okay, over time in general. Then methodology knowledge, this we will cover in detail during our top further discussions. What is the model we are using to develop a software? Are we working in waterfall model? Are we working in agile? In agile, what particular framework? Scrum, XP, or any other thing? So you must know how that model works. Then only you can go and tell customer if they have any questions. You don't have to teach customer about how the industry works or how the organization works or how the software development framework works. You don't have to go and teach them. But if you have the required knowledge, you can answer their questions. Okay, they don't want you to teach them because their customers main focus is on generating revenue, increasing more revenue. Okay, and your focus is on keeping yourself updated with the latest happenings in IT industry. How do you develop a software? How do you work? Okay, and see, solution knowledge is similar to your problem solve. You can only solve a problem if you can identify a solution. So most of these skills that you see on your screen, they are interlinked. Okay, next is your communication skills. Remember, guys, why communication skills are needed. So remember, here we said you will have plenty of meetings with customer and development team. Now when you have plenty of meetings or going with them, so you need to work on your verbal communication. Verbal communication doesn't mean having a very fantastic vocabulary. No, verbal communication means you should be able to express your ideas. Okay, no one asks you whether you know 100 vocabulary words or 200 or 1000 or 1 lakh. No, it doesn't matter. Are you able to clearly express your ideas or not? That's what matters. That when you are getting into a call or meeting, are you able to explain things to people? Non-verbal communication. Okay, so sometimes the non-verbal aspects basically involves the gestures. Okay, when you go on meeting people, sometimes you see them, they're busy. Okay, and what is your natural reaction? You see them busy, you don't disturb them, you come back to your seat. Similarly, when you go to a customer or when you are giving a presentation and you see that people, that look on people's face where they are not able to understand anything. Okay, so that gives you an indication that probably I need to give a different example now. So those comes into non-verbal aspect. Then listening and written communication. While listening, when you go and talk to customer, remember you are taking requirements from the customer. Okay, so you need to listen well. Only if you listen well, or you listen to their ideas, then only you can write down those requirements. There's a famous saying, listen with the intent of understanding, not with the intent of responding. Okay, so always remember that you are listening to understand things. You are listening not to respond or reply immediately. So when you listen with the intent of understanding, you will understand things better. Okay. Now you can think, when you listen and when you understand things better, you can solve problems. You can create solutions. Okay. So like I said, if you look at these competencies or these skills, they're somehow interlinked. And written communication. So you see over here, we mentioned that as a BA, you will be responsible for creating artifacts or documents like BRD, FRD, software specification. So have good written communication as well. Okay, not just these documents, but you will also be sending out emails on daily basis. Okay, even for managing that communication also, have you need to have good written communication. Now, last one is your interaction skills. These interaction skills are uh, based on how to conduct your meetings. Okay. So facilitation skills. What is meant by facilitation skills? Because you will be hosting a range of meetings. Okay. So as a host, what you need to do? You need to ensure that people who are joining their meeting, and let me write it down because it's a good point. So for facilitation, what are the key things? Number one, that I always say to people, ensure that required participants required participants are joining. Okay, what people usually do is they send an meeting invite to 10 people, and even though they want to talk only to one or two out of those 10 people, but they send a meeting invite to all 10 people. Now when lot of people join meeting, sometimes it becomes difficult to manage. So that's why when you are conducting meetings, ensure that only required participants are invited, so that you can keep your meetings to restricted people only. Now in addition to that, set an agenda as well. Just a minute. Sorry guys, like I said, I'm going through cold, so sorry for the delay. A second item that I was saying is, for your improving your facilitation skills, set an agenda for any meeting that you forward. Don't just simply say team meeting at 4 p.m. today. That doesn't make sense. What is this team meeting? Set an agenda. What are you going to discuss? We are going to discuss the progress of the items that you guys are working on. So if you set an agenda with the required participants, there's more likelihood of people joining that meeting. Okay, and people understanding like what will be discussed. Then be the driver. Driver as in, ensure that people are not discussing topics other than agenda. They can discuss, but let's first finish the agenda. Once we are done with the agenda, or once we have covered all the topics, then we can discuss chit chat or discuss other items as well, so that you guys can have fun also. Okay, but you need to ensure that your discussions stay relevant. That is your responsibility and not the responsibility of anyone else. Okay, so that's where a good facilitation, as a good facilitator, you need to be a driver. Ensure that people are talking about your agenda first, and then once the discussion is over, then you can end the meeting or chit chat, or have some fun also. Then like I said, the last will be notes. Whatever is discussed in the meeting, send it as a note, including who needs to take any action items. Okay, then leadership skills. You need to show leadership skills. Why leadership? Leadership doesn't mean that you will you will manage 5-10 people. Leadership basically means in the kind of decisions you make, how you solve problems, how you possess knowledge. Okay, so that is your leadership skills. That leads to the leadership. That you are solving a problem. You know what leaders do? They solve problems. So when you start solving problems, you automatically start demonstrating your leadership skills. It doesn't mean that you have to manage 10 people, then only you will be called a leader. Okay. The next item is teamwork. Now remember we said if customer initially wanted two features, then they add on to the third feature. So in our discussion, if you guys remember, the business analyst did not directly confirm that I will do this requirement. We will add the third feature. What the business analyst did, they went back to the team, started discussion with the team, how much time they will need. Team told that we will need 1 week, and then they went on to communicate that to customer that we will need at least 1 week and resolve the conflict. Okay, so that is teamwork. You are never working alone. You are not a decision maker. Whatever decision you take, it's a team decision. Okay, because remember, you are not a coder. You are getting requirements, but you are not a coder or a developer. So you need to talk to your developer, get their consensus, then only you take any decision. So that's why teamwork. And conflict resolution, we already went through it for a couple of examples, so that should be clear. For now, any question that you guys have with respect to skills needed, with respect to your day-to-day responsibility, or with respect to who is a business analyst? So far, any questions with any of these three topics? Or let me go through chat if you guys have posted a question there. All good? Are you guys able to follow along?
Yes, sir.
Sure, Nikita. And guys, if you have any questions with respect to your background, I mean your work background as well, you can ask those also, provided that they match with the topics that we are covering. Okay. So tomorrow's agenda, if you guys don't have any question, so tomorrow we will discuss on how the role of BA was created. We'll go into little bit of background, how this role was created, how this role has evolved, and what BAs are typically doing in an IT industry. And then on day 4, we will go through common terms. Okay, since we are going to start our work in IT industry, and let's not assume that everyone knows about the IT. So on day 4, we will discuss about the common terms. Okay, like what is requirement, what is meant by deployment. I keep saying development team. What is development team? Okay, what is software? So that once we know about these basic terms and etc., not just these, there will be other terms as well, then we can have a further discussion. So when we go through our regular topics, you will know what a requirement is, what do I mean by deployment, and so on and so forth. So remember guys, as per our content, our first week is about introducing business analyst to you, introducing IT to you, and then from week 2 onwards we go into your regular activities. So before we end the meeting, any final thoughts, questions, suggestions? Okay, so if no questions, we can end the call. And like I said yesterday, please drop a WhatsApp message on this number, okay, that you attended the day 2 of demo. In case if you missed it yesterday, if you have already sent it, well and good. But in case if you have missed it, just do send this. How many BA will be there for one project? How many BA will be there for one project? Okay. So for people asking how many BAs will be there for one project, uh, there is a ballpark estimate of 15% to 20% of any uh, workforce should be BA. But how do we calculate that? We have that on our day 5 of agenda. That is when we discuss about IT industry organization, how do we get projects. Then we discuss on how do we decide how many number of BAs should be there. Okay. But for now, for ballpark purposes, you can take 15 to 20% of the total team should be constituted of BA only. Okay, guys. So don't forget to send message onto the WhatsApp message on this number. Okay. Do you have any final questions? If not, I can stop recording and end the session.